What up, Whiskey Ginger fans? Welcome back to the show. It's your first time joining the show. Welcome to the show. We got a good one for you today, like my man Steve Harvey done say. Kyle Kinane is on the show. Love Kyle Kinane. So funny. Chicago's finest. Love him. He's on tour. Go check him out right now, please. Also, I'm on tour in the fall. Me and Bobby are going to go back on the road. We're doing Boston. We're doing D.C., Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison. We're all over the place. We're also redoing those rescheduled dates. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Rochester. We're coming back to see you guys, and we're adding dates as we go. There's a couple of cities that we're waiting on. But for now, go to badfriendspod.com, badfriendspod.com for those tickets. We'll see you out there. Enough rambling from me. Let's go to the episode.
In here, we pour whiskey, 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 whiskey.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Whiskey Ginger. My guest today is one of my favorite people on earth. I say that for all my guests, but I mean him once again today. It's Kyle Kinane. Cheers to Kyle Kinane. Clinky, clinky. Hey, I am happy that you touched. That's very brave of you to get into this sauce without me. He drank before me, ladies and gentlemen at home. I just want to tell you.
Was that rude?
No, it's okay. I counted it, though. I thought about it.
I'm sorry if that was rude. I've been sitting with a drink for 20 minutes. I mean, you're fucking around with your tech.
My apologies.
I'm like, what am I going to sit here?
My apologies. Kyle Kinane is on the show. If you don't know Kyle Kinane, you're a dumb human.
Yes.
He's a brilliant comedian who I've known
nerds.
for what? Let's be honest. I want to say 15 years, but that seems like maybe I'm overshooting the moon.
I'm trying to think of when we
first met.
Cross paths here in LA. I know there was that fateful show in Tustin that I think solidified our friendship.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, Tustin will do it to you. If you ever go down to Tustin, you know that'll do it to you.
More than just the jewelry exchange.
That's right.
In Tustin.
Right. You can't just get a car there. You can get good
No,
comedy
yeah, it's
down
not
there.
only, there's a car village
Yeah.
and there's a, did you ever do, when did you move to LA?
2006, I moved to Southern California. I was driving up from Long Beach back then.
Oh, okay.
That's how I met Brooks Wheelan, Fahim Anwar.
That's right. They were down.
They were down in Long Beach.
Because actually, weirdly enough, I mean, I don't live here anymore, but this is 20 years since I moved out of Chicago. It was like this month to LA.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I remember doing weird shows in Northridge, and I don't know if we met out there.
I did a Valley show with you one time. In fact, I know where it was. You might not remember this. I'm not going to disclose our location, but there's a little place that used to be called Sardo's. The bar.
Yes.
In the parking lot of a grocery store.
Yes.
We did a show there at Sardo's one time in, oh man, it was a long
Was
long
it
time
Sardo's?
ago. At the time, it was still Sardo's.
Sardo's was known, my buddy lived across the street. Sardo's was known as for porn star karaoke on Mondays.
Really? Is that what it was?
It was like, because the karaoke game is big in LA.
It's
like,
if you're in the karaoke game, buddy, you might as well be a billionaire.
People are here to be like stars.
I
You
know.
can't go to karaoke to have fun. You got to go to bring it.
That's right. You have to break.
Like, there's no fucking around. And so this was porn. So it was like, oh, the porn stars go to sing karaoke. My buddy lived across the street. Like, well, let's go check it out. And it was like one contractually obligated starlet and just like a room of just compulsive masturbators, just all crowding around, trying to sing the sexiest songs
Drooling.
they can. And it was real creepy. That was Sardo's.
That was Sardo's. Yeah.
And then
they did shows there too.
We did a show there, and then it turned into a bar by another Chicago dude, Matt Dittman.
I know Dittman very well.
Dittman turned it into a Crawford's.
And then sold it again.
And it's now a Dungeons and Dragons bar.
That's right. It's a D&D
which
bar.
I've done a show at all three of those places now.
If you want to know the breadth of Kyle Kinane's comedy career, it goes from a porn star karaoke, a great chicken place, and now D&D bar.
I don't change.
Yeah, they change.
The names change, but the places stay the same.
That's
Is that the
exactly
lyric?
right, yeah.
God. Yeah, the one time we walked over there from my buddy's house, we're like, what's going on? And somebody's hosing out the parking lot. Like, somebody got shot in front of the ATM by that Vons over there.
Yeah. So shows at 8:30? Yeah, man. We'll line up.
Looks like it's opening up.
Yeah, we did. I think we probably met. I think it's safe to say we met in 2009 or 10.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That was kind of the time that I met you. And I remember one time you were just, I don't know, you were cruising. Like you were really killing it. And then we went down to the no. I want to say Newport Beach show or something. It was another Orange County show, and you were doing so well, and I remember thinking, man, that guy's just gonna keep killing it. And honestly,
And now,
you are. What do you mean?
well, that story was like you were cruising, but then we went down to the show. I was like, wait, what happened?
No.
Like, I'm trying
I just
to
remember how you were just doing really well, and I was kind of struggling to get any kind of shows booked, and I remember feeling like just terrible. And then we did the show together, and
Well, it's nice to see a cruise by in the fast lane, buddy. Hey, look, there goes Santino. Oh, hey, all right, good job, buddy. Good job on all that.
No, you've had a steady, consistent, great career, and I watch you like a cousin from a distance. And I'm being honest when I say this. You've always been somebody that I've always loved and
Thank you.
looked up to a little bit.
I like the sentence. I've watched you from the distance, like a cousin. I'm like, how's that go?
Because I jerk off when I see some of your stuff.
I was wondering where that was.
When I play your stuff on YouTube, I jerk off.
You
What do
know,
you want me to say?
when there's a family reunion at a camp and you weren't.
You know what that's like when
Everybody
you-
went through puberty.
When you
and
run
didn't
into a
realize it.
cousin and you haven't seen him in a long time, and you're like, it's family. It's that kind of thing. You're like, good to see you, man. What's going on? It's like, blah, 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 this and this and this. And you feel like you're proud of them, even though
we got DuPage roots.
DuPage
We got DuPage
roots.
County roots.
Yeah,
So
baby.
anytime you see somebody that made it out of the suburbs, you're kind of like,
Good for you.
all right.
DuPage River did us good drinking that DuPage water, baby.
Oh God, we got Cook County, we got lake water out.
Yeah,
in
we got
Madison.
lake water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. I remember my mom got excited. We're getting the lake water. It's gonna be good now.
It's going to be real good.
That was the big news. We're about to get lake water.
Drink out of the sink, baby.
Yeah,
You can
filter.
drink out of the sink.
Filter. What are you, a commie?
You wouldn't
drink
dare,
out of the sink.
You wouldn't dare do it here, though. You don't drink out of the sink here.
I drink out of the sink everywhere.
Do you really?
I figure I travel so much, I'm only getting a little bit of what's bad everywhere.
And the fluoride's spread around enough where I feel like it's balancing you with any kind of rust or any loose metals that are in there. You're
Yeah.
probably fine.
Don't drink out of the sink. It might be bad for you. What the fuck? Yeah, boys, come on. What kind of life
This is actually good for you.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I
It's
better
proven
drink
to be
more of
pretty
it
good for
then.
you. Yeah, we should drink as much as we can.
Mm.
I said when you walked in, you looked really fit, and you were like, "Was I a fat piece of shit before?" But no, you were never fat, but you do look thin.
I think well,
What are you doing with your life that you look thin?
the
now?
same thing everybody else is doing. Getting into our 40s
Mm-hmm.
and realizing like, oh, everything feels worse the next day.
Mhm.
It turns out I enjoy some things in the daytime, and I don't want to die as soon as I thought I did,
Fact.
as I was when I was 27.
Yeah. What are you now?
46.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You look good.
What were you thinking? More or less.
I thought you were 43 or 40. I thought you were only a couple years older than me.
Well, how old are you?
39.
39.
Be 40 this year.
Look at you.
But for some reason, I thought you were like 42, 43.
No, 46.
You're welcome,
All right,
dude.
I'll take it. I'll
Yeah,
take
you're
it.
welcome.
I go to the gym. I do some of the up and down, some of the back and forth.
A little bit of pumpy
Just
pumps.
just a little bit.
What now? Have you turned into something in your 40s? Have you added something to your lifestyle that you used to think was lame when you were young, but now you do it all the time and you like it?
Can exercise.
Exercise.
Like I used to think that was also you live in LA, you're like, what are you on a treadmill for? You got the outdoors.
Yeah.
Every day of the
Get
week.
outside.
You got bicycles. There's big rocks you could pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And now I live in Oregon and it's raining and the missus is like, I know you're sad during the winter. I got us a gym membership down the street. I'm like, a gym. And now I go and I know I look like a dipshit there, but it's not LA hot.
No.
You go to a gym in LA and it's like, oh yeah, I should be laughed out of here. This is for beautiful people.
Right.
In Oregon, it's everybody just trying to fight off the urge to kill themselves. And I'm like, oh, I can hang with this crew. Just everybody's wearing oversized band T-shirts and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I could do this in the gym.
It's just you. It's duplicates of you all over the place.
Yeah, it's fine. We're all like,
It's just mirrors.
just a bunch of me and 5 lookalikes sweating in the sauna,
Where are you in Oregon? Can you say? You can't see you.
just outside of Portland.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, so Portland, that's my scene. I still do comedy up there.
You like it up there?
Yeah, man. It's,
How
it's I mean, it's gnarly. A lot of places are gnarly right now.
We were just
Give-
there. We were just in Portland.
I saw that. Were you guys at the big old concert
Arlene
hall?
Schnitzer, maybe?
Yeah,
Is that her name?
I think.
Who was Miss Schnitzer? Do you know?
I'm not unfamiliar with the local history, but she apparently was
gotta dig
was
in.
a patron of the arts.
She loved the arts.
Oh, Mrs. Schnitz.
I went down to get a suitcase because I had gotten more stuff on the road, and I asked one of the guys. I went into a local shop, and I was like, "Hey, man, does anybody sell bags, like suitcase bags that I can just grab, like a
Yeah.
shitty?" And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, just go down this street." Don't remember whatever, but he said the name. I go down there and I get there, and it looks a little post-apocalyptic. And then,
Yeah.
it says, we're open, please knock or call. And of course, I knocked and I thought, okay, if you're locking the doors during the daytime, it's tough.
Yeah.
It was a little tough. There's parts of downtown that are getting better, but it's still, downtown Portland's a little apocalypto. Some of it.
It is. I don't have any answers for it.
I know.
I haven't been following the policies or anything. I'm like,
Oh, whatever.
yeah, this is sad and it looks
Fix it.
shitty. And I don't, So what am I going to be the guy that's like, well, this is bad and I'm going to be loud about it. Do you have a solution? No. Then shut the fuck up. We sit here and scream at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it looks
LA looks a little nicer than I thought it was going to be. LA was rough last time.
Yeah, but it depends on where you go, dude. Some of it's bad. I had a few people that lived on the west side by the water, and they were like, it's pretty bad. I think it's, it's the...
I know Greg Fitzsimmons was talking about how they cleaned up the boardwalk down there a little bit.
They tried. Yeah.
They just moved them.
Yeah, they're like, guys, over here,
Slowly moving.
Yeah.
They're just playing some away
It's chess.
games.
It's just homeless chess. You just move them about.
Man, I don't have any answers for this.
It's all good.
What?
You like the Northwest, though? The PNW?
It goes... It's like miserable out. It's 40 degrees and raining.
So why?
Because it was pandemic and it was like an opportunity to pay a third of what we were paying in rent to live in a house.
You'll never come back here.
I can't say that, but I don't have anything. Depends on the missus is
Would you ever
trying to get into the game, so she's writing and directing.
Would you ever get into going to Chicago? Would you ever convince this? No. Couldn't go home.
I can't.
Isn't this funny about us? What is it with us? I miss homes. I love Chicago.
I like visiting.
Yeah, but every time I go back, somebody's like, you should get a place here. And I'm always like, I can't. I don't know what it is.
What are you going to do if you live in the city?
Well, I wouldn't live in the city. I would have to live outside somewhere.
So you're going to live in the suburbs.
Somewhere,
So why not live in the suburbs of some place that has nicer weather?
Closer to my folks would be easier, though.
Oh,
that
it's
would
the
be
folks.
Nice. It'd be nice, yeah. And there's a couple of good people back there that I really would love to see more often that I never get to see.
I like seeing all my friends. I don't,
Oh,
but
I
then
don't
you
have any
live,
friends.
you
I don't have any
live there.
friends. No friends.
Who are these people that you'd like to see?
A couple of street dwellers, a couple of people I shuck and jive with.
Some people I borrow money
I got a
from.
dice game.
Some subsidizing income individuals.
A couple of guys.
Yeah, I was just in New York and I was asking these guys, like, well, so you go on the road as a comedian, and then when you're back, you do 4 sets a night. Comedy, like, where's your life?
No,
This is what we were talking about before
yeah.
it started. Where's your life?
Yeah.
Where's your actual life?
Sure.
And that's the thing. I don't broadcast on social media all the stuff I'm doing all the time. I'm not living a life to generate content. I'm actually just doing stuff. Isn't that a weird feeling? Like there's people out there, people we know that like, if I'm not documenting the thing I'm doing for social media, does it even exist?
Yeah.
Does it even help propel my career forward?
It's
What
creepy.
a fucking sick way to live, man.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross. Well, what's funny is like, I've got my little secret life. Like I like to
Spill it.
Well, golf is my repulsive. People know if I'm not working, I'm playing golf.
You turned into the golf guy.
I've been it for a long time. I just now I can
Yeah.
actually do it. But you know what
go
it
to
is,
the good
dude?
courses.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What do you mean? Yeah.
You take a trip. You take a just golf only trip.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I've gone to. There's a place. Oh, actually, dude, up your neck of the woods, Bandon, Oregon. Do you know where that is? You know where Coos Bay is by any chance?
Yes, familiar.
Yeah, Coos Bay is like south, way south,
The bottom
South
edge,
Oregon, right
yeah.
on the coast there. And if you drive about an hour, there's a place called Bandon, which is
Okay.
genuinely, dude, some of the most beautiful country I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it's like stunning, and it's all because it's also not been fucked with. Like,
It's a rainforest.
yes, it is a rainforest.
That's
It's
the
incredible.
redwood.
Yeah, the redwood rainforest. It's stunning. So I went to there. Bandon is fun. I've jumped to a bunch of different little spots, but the reason I like it so much, not to bore anybody with it, but
Let's go, man.
I get to hang out with my fucking friends outside.
Yeah.
It's so funny that for years people are like, oh, fucking golf. And it's like, yeah, man, it's just like 3 people I get along with and we get to talk hang out and fuck off.
I found that out. I don't play. I'm not athletically inclined. The reason I avoid golf is because I don't want to suck so bad.
Dude, you
that
don't have
I'm
to be an
bummed.
athlete.
This is what I found out. All my friends, like people are like, we don't give a shit. You don't even have to keep score.
Fact.
Just come out with us. I was 19 years old on a road trip to the Key West with my buddies, and we're getting tattoos in Key West.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's like, yeah, man, we usually just golf. I'm like, really? I'm like a tattoo artist. He's like, yeah, it's just your buddies. You just get fucked up.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, because I had caddied as a kid.
Oh, so
at
did I.
River Forest Country Club. Where'd you caddy at?
I caddied at like a public course. It wasn't like a fancy course.
Oh, this was like
Yeah, I didn't go
fancy course, and that soured me on golf. Like these rich old fuck. It cost people 5 figures a year to join the country club, and they'd be sitting there at the pond digging out free balls. I remember waiting for
Yeah.
one guy so he could get enough free balls. I'm like, you just spent
Yeah.
$20,000.
20 grand to
be here.
get in. Yeah.
You're gonna give me $5 for this 3.5 hours worth of work. And I'm
That's-
watching you pick balls.
I
out
got
of the
$20.
pond.
I remember getting $20 for a full round. $20 for 4 hours of walking. And I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
$20 was great. I was making 5.
Really?
I was a terrible caddy.
20 to me was like, I mean, I was like, this is bullshit for 4 hours, 4.5
It's
hours.
also child labor. It's also
Yeah, it's
like
child
you can do it
labor.
when you're 12.
Yeah.
Like in junior high. Like, oh, you want a job? Go to the golf course.
Yeah, fuck that. No, I hate that world of it.
So I kind
that
of got
hate.
soured on golf.
But
now I
now-
understand.
Now you know.
All right.
You gotta.
Let's do
I
it,
would love to
man.
take you. You'd have so much fucking fun.
Of course. You get to drive the little
Get the
car.
bag right there. Yeah. You get a little fun cart.
Do you get a caddy? You don't get a caddy now?
Yeah, no, I like a caddy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, why not?
How do you treat him?
Like
I mean,
shit.
I-
I treat him like shit. I go pick up my shit, idiot. That's what I say every time.
Or do you give him the money first and be like, listen, we're going to do a thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to berate you in front of my
Yeah,
friends. We're
no.
just going to see how long it takes before one of them stands up. And then if they don't, you know you have shitty friends.
That's right.
Like, all right, well, me and this guy, we were doing an undercover boss thing. For the
And you're
guy.
all busted.
Yeah, you guys all suck.
Now I treat him really well because it's a tough gig. It's a shitty gig.
Yeah.
I mean, not a shitty gig. I mean, it's a labor intensive gig. It's a good job, but I know how annoying it is.
Yeah, I was always tiny. I was always a tiny guy.
Yeah.
And it was like Caddyshack. Here's the patent leather bag. There's
Right.
an 80-year-old guy with who's bringing every club.
And it's 60, 70 pounds.
Yeah, he's bringing every club.
Right.
It's coming back heavier because he's going to go digging balls out
3
of them.
balls.
He's got half a sandwich from the clubhouse he's putting in there.
Uh-huh.
Fuck these guys. All right, I'll give golf a shot.
Yeah, give it a shot.
I'll give it a chance.
What's your getaway then? Like, what's your little secret hideaway?
I like mountain biking.
Oh, you do?
God, I wish I was even remotely good at it.
Honestly, dude, who would never have pegged you as a mountain bike guy.
Yeah, I know. What
What do you mean you're good at it? How good?
No, I said I'm not good at it.
No, I mean, how
I
is
would-
that? What do you mean good or bad? How is it bad? Don't you just do it?
Yeah, but then it depends if you fall off and get hurt a lot.
You don't fall off.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Are you doing big jumps?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
I'm not like it's not like a Red Bull event, but it's like there's enough trails you get to the top of the mountain and you try to get to the bottom without falling. And I'm not usually successful.
How many times
but
are
I
you
have a good
falling in
time.
one trail round? One way, one
Oh,
pass.
there's a couple like a spill here or there, but like a big fall. I've gotten some stitches and a couple emergency room trips.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Wait, where's the stitches at?
in my knee. That happened out here. That happened in the Santa Monica Mountains.
Are you doing this with a group of people or no?
No, because it's not like golf.
So-
Nobody else wants to go.
So if you
mountain bike.
if you get really hurt, you're alone.
Yeah, this thing has a little crash detection on it now, which is I feel a little bit better about.
The Apple Watch. That should be the commercial. You know the commercial where they're like,
Yeah.
"We've detected a fall. Kyle ate
Yeah.
shit on Trail 9."
Well, the thing is, I'm also I'm not very smooth at riding anyway. That I was always like, "Did you fall?" I'm like, "No, I just landed weird." Did you fall? So I turned off the crash detection.
So now it's
So I'm
now you're
fucking
fucked
doomed
anyway. When you
Oh.
go out, how far of a hike do you go? What are we talking? Like you're riding for how long? How far?
I do a couple hours. Do about you get like 10 or 12 miles in a day.
If your lady ever wanted to go, you would say, "I got to go alone." You can't go with
No,
anybody.
if she wanted to, I just like bicycles, man. They're simple machines.
Yeah, they are.
and they're quiet and they're fun and there's bike paths that you just go on. Like we just went on a 23-mile ride just to another town and back. Rode to a bar, had a couple drinks,
I like that.
rode back, and it's just I don't know why it's a very simple thing that brings me joy.
Good.
And you can't worry about anything else. I'm not looking at my phone while I'm on it. You
Right.
have to be, kind of dialed in with what's happening around you. It's like, if you're out with your buddies, are you looking at your phone that
No.
much? Or are you just fucking around with your
No, I
pals?
kind of make it a thing to like throw it away. I throw it away just because I want
Yeah.
to goof off the whole day. I also want an excuse to be like, "Hey, I couldn't have. Sorry, you couldn't get to me. I was
Yeah.
doing a thing. My bad."
I'd like to know what more comics do that's their secret life, like the gaps in their social media. Like, oh, you didn't post anything for 2 weeks. And like, yeah, I went to surf camp and nobody else needs to know that.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to see a picture of me in swim trunks. Nobody needs to know that I went to Belize to learn how to surf
Right.
because I wanted to do that for myself.
A lot of guys are. A lot of guys do have a thing because of what you said before. Reminded me. It's funny. It's like cued me into the same thought I had before when you said that they're documenting every second and they're not living a life.
Yeah.
I think a part of the problem was when we were young, the hustle was so crazy. Nobody had time to live a life. It's like we were poor as fuck. First of all, nobody had any money. We were pushing together pennies to try to figure out how to get to the next thing. And then when everyone started to get a couple of bucks in their pocket, then you were like, okay, so this is how I can make a living. So then you kept having no life. And then at some point, you have to remind yourself, you're like, I'm allowed to fucking do a life thing. I'm allowed to have a life thing. But it is kind of a traumatic, unless you grew up with a lot of money and you came out here as a comic with a safety net, who were like, you never had to have a day job. You never had to fucking.
Did you grow up with money? Were you from?
No, you know what's funny is like we grew up, my parents were fine. My mom still works, which is a bummer. I wish she would retire, but my parents both worked my whole life. So it was never like that. But they were always good and fine, but also, you know, I was never given a dime when I came. It wasn't never like, hey, let's help your dream. My dad was very much like, I hope you do well. Good luck. If you need anything, you can move back and live in our house and figure out your life. So my family was never, we've always been that way though. And I accepted it. I was never like jealous of other people that came with money. I just knew it was like, well, I just am going to have to fucking always have a job. But I had a job, dude, until I fucking got like my first sitcom pilot.
I remember when I knew I was quitting my job here, telling my agent, like, give me everything you got.
Yeah.
Like, I can't go without. I was so paranoid about not knowing how much money I'd be making from week to week.
Same.
Because, like, I knew how to budget. My bills are this much. I make this much. I have X amount of dollars left over for this. God forbid an emergency happens. Well, I'm doomed. Or that's where I have to call every favor out.
Right.
Yeah, my parents, I think we were like lower middle class financially. Never felt that way growing up. And I think when I moved out here, they gave me like, it was like $1,000 or $2,000. But I remember that was like a big deal. Like I know they didn't.
That is a fucking big deal.
Yeah, I know they didn't have that. And it was like, all right, you're trying to do something. You're not going to get a job right away. Here's for like an apartment or something that when you get going. Okay, so I knew that was a big deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that was it, and I think.
And did you ever have to make the call where you're like, I need a couple of bucks?
There was one moment where shit got real bad, and I think they just kind of sent some.
And did they know? Did they hear through the grapevine? Like
I don't think I asked. I think I was just. I think it was a moment. it was the Bronger and I were roommates. Matt Bronger and I, and we did a show in. Somewhere in West Hollywood, and we were leaving and grabbed drinking a lot those days. But we're walking back to the car drunk, and we got robbed. We got robbed at gunpoint.
Whoa, for real?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right behind, it's where the Ralph's is on Santa Monica. I don't know if it's still, it's like there's a bunch built up, who knows. But it was right behind there. I'm like, shit, man, it's right off Santa Monica. It's a pretty busy street, but we got held up. Guy had a gun on me. Gal was like held Bronger back, pretending to have a gun. Like, all right, sure, here's everything.
Bronger would get held up by the girl.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm just still walking and talking. I'm like, whatever, man. Some guy's like, what's up? I'm like, I don't have any more cigarettes. He's like, no, man. And shows me the gun. I'm like, oh, okay. And
I said I don't have any more fucking cigarettes.
All right,
man.
you can shoot me. It's not going to manifest cigarettes. But then we got robbed, and we're like, oh, shit, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's just get out of here. And we realized, like, we got robbed standing in the place where my car had been towed from.
Oh my god!
So I think that was those. It was those two stories. My parents were like, "All right, we're sending you a couple bucks.
Yeah,
and you can always move home." It was a real like, and I can only. I don't have kids, but I can only imagine if you're looking at your adult son is just drunk, getting held up, and parking illegal zones, and getting robbed at gunpoint after doing a comedy at a gay bar in Hollywood, like. I could see how maybe their hope dwindled for their son in a moment. Like, we could just keep throwing money at it and hope he gets his head out of his ass, which hopefully I've gotten to the point now that I've proved to them, like, I think I got my head out of my ass.
I think you're good now. Yeah.
I hope, hey, knock on wood.
Finally, it worked, though.
You know, it took about 20 years, but we got there.
No, but I think I was lucky that they were supportive, but my parents, our family's not like that. We're not like, ironically, I am now. Like my little sister got kind of screwed over in a bunch of different ways in life. Some things happened that were unfortunate and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
I help her out as much as I ever can, but it's only because you know, yeah, I guess it's because I was like, I need to do this because I know how bad it would have been, how great it would have been at moments that somebody was like, but I just could. The pride was so high, I could never ask my parents, even
Yeah.
when I was like this is how when I
Yeah,
first
what
moved.
was the lowest?
Well,
I want to know the lowest, and I want to know the first nice thing you bought for yourself when you're like, go ahead and spend something. on
okay,
that.
well, I want to know that. I want to know that for you too, because you
Yeah.
told me the lowest moment I think was, dude, I was having panic attacks living. I used to live in a. It was a partitioned off dining room. It was sold as we sold a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, but it was only a 2-bedroom, 1 bath.
It wasn't the one off Fairfax right by the store, was it?
This was down.
Okay.
This was down in Culver City by Palms.
Oh, okay.
Which, by the way, one of my favorite stories is the night I was coming home from my girlfriend's house. I parked in the middle of the street and I was really like dozing out of it. I had done like 2 shows. I had worked all day. I was exhausted. I went to go to her house and I was like, I just got to go home, man. I can't even sleep over here. I got to be up at fucking 6 to go to work again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at a stoplight at National and Overland or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm dozing off, and then all I hear is screaming, like loud scream, blood-curdling screams, like someone's getting stabbed.
Okay.
And I kind of come to, and I'm looking around, and there's a woman on a patio going, "Stop, stop, stop!" And I'm like trying to see what she's, and then over there in the middle of the side of the intersection is like 10 dudes. I'm exaggerating. Let's say 5 guys just beating the life out of one dude on the ground, and it's bad. It's not like. This is barbaric. It's like kicking and it's wild.
It's a murder.
It's a murder. They're killing him. And she's
Yeah.
screaming. And then I kind of connect eyes for a heartbeat with one guy. Like he kind of looks over for a second. And I was like, "Gah!" Right through the red light, gone. I mean, I literally almost missed 2
You went
cars.
from taking a nap to being a witness.
Yeah, dude, fuck this. Yeah, fuck this. Especially because when you look like this, when you have red hair, they're like, this motherfucker. I'm like,
This guy talks to
gone.
cops.
Yeah.
This guy wants to see the right thing happen in
Fuck
the world.
that. I got out. But that neighborhood was shitty. Got my car broken into multiple fucking times. But when I was at my low living over there, I was I had just come off of like this PA gig, and I thought I had enough to like get it to another job.
Yeah.
And I had a moment of a panic attack because I looked on a piece of paper I'd written my notes on about how much I owed for stuff.
Yeah.
And I laid down in bed and I had like tears and night sweats all night thinking, there's no way I'm going to be able to make $350 in the next 2 days. Like there's just no way. And I was like, how am I going to do it? Like, what am I going to? And I literally was at the end of it being like, I have no job. I have no resources, no prospects. I have in my account, I probably had like 19, 20 bucks left. And I got beyond lucky. A friend of a friend, they needed someone to fill in on one of these, like a hosting gig thing.
Okay.
On the Queen Mary in Long Beach. Like a mid show for like a dinner show.
Oh, like a party host kind of thing?
And I got $100 per show.
Yeah.
And I did 2 shows. That was also the most money I had ever made at the time doing stand-up. But I got $200 from that, and that helped me at least get a little bit of money to landlord until I could get a check from doing another PA gig a week later, or 2 weeks later or something. But dude, that was one night where I thought, this is a stupid world. I shouldn't fucking live in LA. Fuck LA. This is so dumb. I'm not gonna, because in my mind I was like, this will be like this forever. I'll always be panicking in a mattress on the floor.
I just had that conversation about living like, I go between thinking I deserve more because of how much time I've put into comedy and how pure I hold it. And like, versus how dare anybody think they deserve anything for this shit. This isn't a service to the world. None of this is necessary.
It's not a necessity.
If I stop doing what I'm doing today, nothing changes tomorrow. Absolutely nothing changes tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so to actually sit and have some demands within that,
it's bold.
I think it's a real Midwest thing too.
That
you like, no, you jokes? You doing jokes?
Yeah.
All right, good. Yeah, you could be funny electrician.
Yeah.
You could be the funniest electrician.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just doing jokes.
Ah.
All right, sure, yeah, okay.
Good luck. Why don't you learn a trade?
You gonna get puppets? No puppets, just you. All right, yeah. I mean, the puppets is funny. I like the
Catchphrase? You got a
puppets.
catchphrase?
Yeah.
Get a catchphrase, man.
No puppets, no catchphrase.
Good luck.
I mean, nah, but like maybe it's like a smaller crowd that likes your stuff, you know? Yeah. So
It is a Midwest mentality for sure.
But I think it's helped. I think it's like
It's healthy.
self-preservation.
Well, because we've always been Midwest kids for the most part. Everyone I know is always like lucky to be here. There's always like a you're lucky to be here thing. So Midwest kids always have like, I'm sad, lucky to be here, I guess.
Yeah.
But I meet a lot of other people that are like, they need me.
Oh,
And
fuck
I'm like,
that.
man.
Arrogant comedians are the stupidest thing I've ever seen in the
How do you
world. Like
get that?
walking around with an attitude. You got that attitude from jokes? Guess who makes jokes? Everybody. Every person out there in the world has 3 friends that are funnier than the best comedian.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't know how to process it. They don't want to harness it
Right.
because they're not up their own ass to be a comedian, but they're funnier than any stand-up you know. You already
true.
have friends that are funnier than any stand-up.
Yeah, it's
so
true.
to walk around with fucking Tood like you are also a brain surgeon, get bent.
In here, we pour whiskey.
This episode of Whiskey Ginger is brought to you by BetterHelp. Hey, I've talked for quite a long time about BetterHelp because I believe what they do is important. A lot of us aren't focusing on ourselves. We're doing and doing and going and going, and we don't know what's going on internally with ourselves. And I think giving therapy a try, like BetterHelp, helps very much. It's cheaper than traditional in-person counseling, which can be very costly. Also, you got to drive there, find a parking spot, and you're late, and you're running back to back to back. Why not try BetterHelp from the comfort of your own home, car, office, resting space, happy place, man shed, basement, rooftop, wherever you decide to do it. I think giving it a try is important. I've been doing it for years. It does help me on tough days, tough months, tough years, get through times. And also when I'm in a good mood, I use it too. It also keeps things smooth and easier to navigate when those big troublesome humps come up into your life and you don't know what to do, where to turn. It's nice to just get it all out. So why not try getting it all out with BetterHelp? Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. All you got to do is go to betterhelp.com/whiskey to get yourself 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/whiskey today. Why not give it a try?
Ginger. I like gingers.
Oh God, my favorite thing when people were like, "Well, I'm in LA because of work." You know, they'd move out from New York. Well, I have to be here because of work. I'm like, "Oh, did somebody tell you we were running out of actors? Did somebody were we running out of comedians? Hey, were we running out of comedians? No? Actually, we're full up on comedians. You don't have to be here for work. You're fine to go back where you're from." I get real defensive about LA.
Yeah.
In a weird, as much as I don't want to live here anymore, I still get defensive about this.
Well, yeah, me
town.
too. I don't like when people say they hate it. It's always weird. Get out. Go away.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. The
It's-
only reason that I'm departing is because I'm just looking for a change in life.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you put in your time. It's like a fucking rescue pit bull that you just saw eat 10 babies. It's hard to love.
Yeah.
But you're like, I think the 11th baby has a shot of winning him over, and we're all the 11th baby. We're all the 11th baby coming here. Like, nah, I think I got what it takes.
I got it. I can make it work.
Yeah.
It's the delusion that people have when they come here sometimes that they're better than this place. That's what I think is there's a big ego check when someone's like, fuck LA.
Let me drop you off in Chavez Ravine.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
drop you off in Boyle Heights, and you tell everybody there that you're better than LA.
Yeah.
You go up to a guy with a face tattoo that you think he's just a Dodgers fan, but it turns out there's more than that. Tell him you're better than LA.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Take a cruise.
Yeah.
Take a cruise over there. Go see.
Take a little drive around
little
town.
drive.
Take a little drive. Let me tell you if you're better than
All right, tell me what was you asked me,
Okay.
but I want to hear from you. What was the first thing you spoiled yourself with then?
How
How about
First
this?
thing- first
did you ever
thing-
spoil somebody else with something like this? Like, did the first thing you got? Did you buy something for somebody else or yourself?
I don't think I did.
That's
I
fine.
think I was single when I kind of honestly when I quit my day job, I was so paranoid about money that I'm like, I'm not spending anything.
Yeah, save it all. Yeah.
And then I I bought a bike. Bought a couple bikes. Bikes aren't cheap. I bought
No, wait a minute. Not motorcycle, bike.
No,
bicycle, bike.
mountain
Okay.
bike.
Did you ever have a motorcycle?
No.
God, you should have though, huh?
You
fit the mold
I would
to a
get so
T.
I would get so close, and it's like
How could you not?
because
It's almost like there is
Listen-
one called the Kanane. You know
yeah,
that, right?
but I'm probably gonna die. Yeah, whatever the opposite of triumph is, failure. Failure bikes has the Kanane out.
Have you seen the failure Kanane?
I mean, we've seen him. Is that his new nickname?
0 to
Is he-
60.
Did he get into wrestling? 0 to 60.
And that's it.
Sometime
Yeah.
later this
Yeah.
week. Yeah, 0 to 60. And I think, no, motorcycles I would have died on, especially in LA.
Yeah, I feel the same
It's
way.
a fucking death wish here.
I drove my buddies when I was in Arizona, and I used to love it. And I remember because I love fast cars.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, this is bad, dude, because I will die.
I wouldn't trust myself.
Yeah, I will die.
I did dumb shit in cars.
Yep.
I bought, okay, so the first, you know what? You
Give it
can
to
do
me.
this. I'd always driven just used cars, whatever, like the cheapest thing you can get or thing like cheapest, most reliable thing.
Yeah.
And so my Ford Ranger, my old tool truck, was like a like no carpeted floor, white Ford Ranger stick shift that I think was from like an auto parts store or something.
Mhm.
And I drove that, and it stalled out on like right by downtown at like where the 10 goes to the 1, like this crazy interchange at rush hour where like I'm stalled in a lane and I'm like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Like I've never made a more panicked phone call. Not even after getting robbed. I didn't even call the cops after I get robbed. But my car stalling on the 110 in rush hour. I'm calling AAA. I'm like, I'm gonna have to jump off the bridge just to save my own life if you don't get here soon. I bought an Audi, an A3, the small
Ooh,
one, just
I
the
like
little
it.
guy.
That's a good one.
And I had it for 1 year before I was like, this sucks.
You hated it.
Because it was the nicest thing I had, but it's a tool. A car is a tool. And it was so nice that I cared about it, and I cared if anything happened to it. And like, this isn't the attitude you should have towards an item that's a car. It's not a vintage car. It's not it's not a classic guitar. It's not anything that like we need to preserve this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a car.
Just a car, yeah.
And I was still like, oh, did I bang the little thing there? Oh, is that a scratch in the hood? I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I feel this way. I had it for a year. I sold it. I got another truck.
That's
Just running.
But that was you felt the little taste. You had a little taste.
I did, and I was like, oh, this isn't what I'm about.
Yeah.
I just wanted a car that could like merge onto the highways here
Mhm.
without me having to wave an orange flag out the side like I was about to start dropping cones. Like I'm merging, doing the same speed as like the CalDOT workers. I'm like, no, I want a car that actually does. But then as soon as I had it, I was doing all the dickhead things. I'm doing everything you do with a fucking white European sports car. I became an asshole.
That guy zipping the
Break the
round.
turn signal off, get rid of that. You'll never use it. Every shitheaded thing. I became the asshole I hated. It encompassed so many terrible things. Like, get rid of it.
You felt what it was like for a minute, and then you got out.
But I realized I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I just wanted the nice thing
right.
because I thought I'm working and I got some money. Let's have a nice thing. And I'm like,
Sure.
oh, I'm not about nice things.
Not at all. What's the night? You've kind of gotten rid of all material bullshit.
No, I have. I got bikes. I got guitars. I don't show them. I just like them. I
Yeah.
think they're. I suck at guitar. I think it's a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. I could tell a difference between the way they play. I'm not going to let anybody listen to me play, but I like them.
Yeah.
It's like a little piece of artwork to me. You know?
But they are.
And I'm not buying. I'm not buying these $50,000.
Is that how much a nice guitar is? I'm so
some
clueless.
look at it in the same terms as like classic cars or anything.
Sure. It goes from anywhere from
Yeah, some-
$2,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, one of 100 that came out in 1972 or this. That. I'm not doing that.
Nah.
I just like, yeah, I think they look cool.
They do look cool. I've never been able to play, and all my friends that can play, I'm really annoyed by. But I have such an ego about my own abilities that I'm like, well, I can't start because I know I'll be obsessed and it'll break my heart if I'm not good.
Oh, really?
I like if I start something and I might not be good at it.
Oh, you got gifted child syndrome.
What is that? What it is?
Yeah, if you're not good at something right away, it means you're a failure.
Yeah.
Because early on in life, you were told you were gifted and you're good at things. So then if something doesn't come with ease,
Quick. Yeah.
you're miserable because you think you should be good at everything.
Oh, that's interesting.
I swim in that feeling.
Yeah. That's
That's why I
interesting.
hang on to stand-up because it's the only thing that still is giving me back enough.
Right. Well, that's my with golf. Like that's my thing. I know I'm good at golf and I really like it. But if there's a new thing that I think I might not be good at, I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Oh, you don't allow yourself to be shitty at stuff.
Not really. Unless I think I'm going to be good at it, I'm not going to do it.
Really?
Yeah, because a piece of me thinks, what am I wasting my time doing? Unless I'm extremely interested. Unless it's like I wanted to learn piano. And I genuinely want to learn piano. And I think I might not be that good at it, but I'm willing to do it because I think it's so wonderful. But I have yet to do it because I'm like nervous about it. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to. But we have a really, really nice.
You got piano or keyboard? What do you got?
I'm
You got a full piano?
I'll leave it to you.
You got a grand piano?
I'll leave
in the
it to
house?
you.
Tell me you have a grand piano because you thought about learning piano.
No. I don't play. She plays.
Oh, okay.
And she's very good.
Okay.
And she's very good.
Well, so that's scary for you to have to display your vulnerability.
Well, you know what it really is? I want to be able to play sad songs at night on the piano. That's truthfully what it is. I want to play sad stuff at night on the piano. Like there's a pretty tune sometimes that she plays.
Andrew Santino, Sad Songs at Night.
That should have been my special. No, but I love sad songs at night on the piano.
Sad songs over Toluca Lake at night. I love it. That's... God, wasn't that...
Blank out where I live.
Oh, shit.
Joe,
Sorry.
That's all right.
We didn't say. I just told... that. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. You know how many psychos listen to this show?
No.
Blank it out, Joe.
I'm not...
Cut it out.
But I got hesitant about Staten Where I say outside of Port. People know where it is, but it's like it's still a big enough town, but it's weird.
Well, it's almost weird. Here's what it really is. I like a little bit of evasiveness. I like a little bit of I want to be a little evasive.
That's what we were talking about before this.
Yeah. A little bit of disappear.
How much
Like the place I told you we want to go to. We don't tell anybody.
Okay, yeah.
And it's only because nobody's going to know. So what I've been doing on this show over the years, including with Bobby, I drop little hints about other places, but I'm never going to live in those places. I say that to them just to fuck with them.
Okay.
Just because I want them to think I'm somewhere else.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Have you had any encounters that? Is that something you want to talk about? Is there? Well, we haven't talked. What did you do nice for somebody else?
Oh.
Let's go. That's a good positive.
Well, I think I
vibe.
talked about it before, but the first thing, I never really got myself anything really nice when for years and years and years because I'm you're
aware of the fleeting nature of this whole business.
Yeah, I never got anything really nice. I mean, only in the recent years do I give myself something that I kind of really want.
Yeah.
But for years and years, no. But the first check I ever got, I bought my parents a new computer. And I thought that was fucking huge.
That's very cool.
They didn't have, they had a, 92 Dell or whatever it was, or maybe the late 80s. No, yeah, it was early 90s. And then my dad, I've told this story, but I'll never forget. I bought my parents a Mac, and my dad took it out of the box. And just like my dad, to look at it and be like, where's the bottom? Didn't even care. Where's the thing on the bottom?
We didn't get all the pieces. Did you have the receipt? Did you keep the receipt?
Did you have to? Do I have to buy a bottom? You only bought me the fucking top. That's literally how he thought. And I was like, no, Dad. This is the bottom thing that usually on the floor. It's in the face of this thing. It's like one of the nicest. It's like new technology. You know what I mean?
This is the whole computer.
This is the thing. But selling him on that was insane. He was like, that's bullshit. There is the floor thing powers the face, dude. And I was like, okay. He hated it. He never used it to this day. They still have it at my parents' house. I still have the one that I bought them. It still sits there.
Your parents not being online as much is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
I tried. We went to Hawaii for Christmas a couple years ago, and I'm like, I would like to get everybody's thing, but they're too proud. They won't let me do it. It's like, no, we got a room. I'm like, all right, well, we're staying here, and you could stay in this place. I'll get your room. No, we got one. There's no air conditioning. All right, well. God damn it.
Well, because the room was expensive, so you wanted to go, let me treat
I wanted to get them.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get the trip.
That's nice. That's a nice
They
thing.
wouldn't let, but they won't.
No.
It's unacceptable.
Right.
The children don't pay for the parents, regardless that you're middle-aged and successful.
Yeah.
It's not. You don't do that.
I know. That's
So,
a Midwest fucking bullshit thing.
And it
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it
I
sucks.
picked them up from the airport. I'm like, my mom's never been to Hawaii. We're Maui. My
Right.
dad had been in the military, had a stopover during
Right.
Vietnam.
I took a shit in Maui.
I'm picking them up sunset. We're driving. I got them. And they're both looking at their phone, arguing about the terms and services on how you could use the safe in the room. Well, it says they're not responsible for the items. And well, then what's the point of having a safe if they're not going to be responsible? I may as well just leave the shit on the balcony for him. I'm like, sunset over there. It's a beautiful sunset. Sunset in Maui. You guys just flew 7 hours, sunset in Maui. Well, see, why do we have the safe? It means that they know the combo to the safe, so they could put the stuff in there and take it on something. You have nothing to steal, you guys. Neither one of you have any valuables. We're in sunset. Dad, there's a sunset. You want to see a sunset? I saw a lot of suns. It was a sunrise. There's one point we can go see the sunrise over volcanoes. Like, I see a lot of sunrises working the overnights at O'Hare. I'm like, well, this is over a volcano and not a fucking fuel truck. But, you do you.
Same thing. Fuel, volcano.
Yeah, same thing. Heat turns in energy. But yeah,
Your old man works at O'Hare, by the way?
he used to, yeah.
What was he doing?
He's a mechanic.
So he was a smart guy, though.
He's an
You gotta be a
airline
bright
guy.
bulb to fix fucking airplanes.
He would tell some stories about what they would get into overnight over there that made me
Shaky about airplanes?
never. Honestly, it should be.
Yeah.
It should be shaky.
Yeah, we throw a pin in there once in a while. Fuck it.
They were just like pranksters overnight. It was always just how they would like fuck with each other, like how you would at like I imagine a service industry job, except also in between fucking with each other. Let's make sure these planes don't fall out of the sky.
It's a little bit different than how was my steak cooked.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think he loved it. I think that was his, like there was midnight. It's not the daytime kind of life.
Were we
It's
talking like
midnight.
he worked midnight to 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or something like that?
Yeah, he was always some version of overnights, where it was like 9 to 6. Or
I remember
midnight
my
to
uncle used to
9.
work the night hours. I'm fascinated as a kid because everyone we knew as a kid,
Yeah.
again, I'm doing the Midwest thing, but everyone I knew as a kid worked from, they'd get up at 7 or 6:30 or something. They'd
Yeah.
go to their job, wherever the fuck it was, and they'd work all day and they get home at 5, and that's the way you did it. And you got one vacation a year,
Yep.
and you didn't fucking complain about it.
You went to Disney World.
You went to fucking Orlando. You
or,
drove.
Or you went to Wisconsin Dells if things were kind of thin.
Yeah, we went to the Dells. Well, actually, you know what's so funny? We used to go, this is very inside baseball, but Lake Geneva is like the nice lake in Wisconsin.
okay, yeah,
But we
yeah.
used to go to a place called Lake Delavan, which is like its shitty little brother, not too far away.
Oh, I did a summer at Nippersink.
And Nippersink.
You ever go there? It was
This was like we didn't get to the Geneva. Geneva was nice.
yeah.
That
that was money.
We didn't know anyone that Geneva was nuts.
Yeah.
Not only did we not know anybody that had a house in Delavan, my grandmother's aunt or someone had partnered with somebody years ago on this house. So we all 30 of us would sleep in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 30 people.
Oh, tents out in the yard kind of thing.
Well,
camping
most
or-
of my uncles slept on the porch. They would all get drunk and
Yeah,
sleep on
yeah.
the porch, and the kids would not really sleep. We fucked off until 4 a.m. I mean, we would be running
Yeah.
around because it was.
Yeah, there's lightning bugs that need to be hit with tennis rackets.
Somebody needs to squish these things on my face and make
Yeah, I gotta
make
write my
war paint.
I gotta write my name in a
I
sidewalk.
gotta make war paint. Can I pour you some more, by the way?
You can do
Yeah,
that
I
if
will.
you wanted to.
You
do
keep
that.
talking, by the way.
Okay, I did. What do you feel bad about from that? Do you ever feel bad about?
Huh?
Like we used to like hit all the lightning bugs. With
How about
tennis-
doing that?
with tennis
Honestly,
rackets.
I felt like people who kept them in jars were more brutal because that was like prison.
Oh, looking back on it, yeah, but there's like just the general brutality of children. Like
Well, yeah.
you weren't morally.
Well, I never
Developed enough.
dissected a cat. I never like killed a thing. But yeah, we used to. I mean, lightning bugs were supposed to be.
You can't just go lighten up in the darkness. Oh, look at you going there. All right, thanks,
Well, we might
buddy.
as well.
You can't just do that in the dark around children. And I mean, I don't want to victim blame, but these lightning bugs.
What are they
kinda-
flashing for?
Yeah.
Hey, you wear that dress to the bar,
You know
that's what
what?
you get.
You're out here blinking and blooping
You blink and bloop, I'm gonna snag and smash.
in the forest at night. All these horny kids out here, horny for violence. I don't know where I'm going. With
no,
this at
no,
all.
but it's true. I did feel I remember feeling a little bad about doing that. But I was never a kid. I told a story just not too long ago. Well, I told not too long ago on this show about I saw a crazy kid in the neighborhood smash a fish against the wall, and it changed the way I thought about
Yeah.
animals and stuff. And
Yeah.
look, I eat animals, blah 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 blah. But I remember watching it, being like, I don't like that. That is something I do not like. I remember it vividly, like singed into my mind as like, I think I don't want to even go near fish ever again. I didn't like fish for years because of multiple things.
Yeah.
But that was one of them where I was like, I don't like that. That's what happens.
Do you remember not knowing it was Lent and your parents would be like, we're going to McDonald's on Friday? You're like, fucking finally. And it's because you just get filet of fish because it was Lent. And
Right.
You're like, you
And that was the only fish they'd eat.
traitors. You fucking traitors. But you can get cheese on it. Ooh, I don't want fucking cheese on this filet of fish.
Nah.
My dad will independently get a filet of fish regardless of it being a
He still does it.
non-secular?
Non-secular day, yeah.
Yeah.
Does he still eat filet of fish?
I think he'll get them once in a while. I don't think they go out to fast food as much anymore.
Yeah, parents reach an age when they kind of don't do fast food ever again.
But they don't they didn't move to healthier food.
No,
they just go
no.
out to dinners. But
Yeah,
once in a while, I think.
Well, my parents eat at home every night. I mean,
Yeah, they make meals for themselves.
well, they don't really go out. I mean, I don't know. They don't really go out.
Naperville, all that fine cuisine.
yeah.
There's so much nightlife in Naperville.
There is. It's bumping out there, baby.
There's so much happening out
Yeah,
there.
it's hot ticket.
Yeah.
Well, they live in a town right next door.
Oh shit! So I'm really out in a lot of stuff here.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
fine.
I'm
No,
sorry for
I
how
don't.
much I'm
People
out.
know. I went to high school there. They don't. But they live in
Okay.
one town away,
Okay.
and it's not as busy. That's for sure.
It can get a little sleepy on the outskirts.
Well, they just
it gets a little country.
well,
you get in a
but by the way,
tornado country out there.
for them to go to the Ville is a big deal. Like they don't want to go. They don't.
Oh, it's like going to the city.
They just don't like to go out. They don't want to go. Well, going to the city, dude. My mom still works in the city. So when we left the city when I was a kid, I was 10 when we left and we moved to the burbs, and she never quit her job.
Yeah.
My mom loved this. She never wanted to leave the city really, but they had to raise my sister right because they fucked me up in the city. So they were like, we got to fucking not have a shithead. And honestly, it really was. Because I was a nuisance. I mean, I grew up downtown in apartment buildings, and then they just were like, this is
Where'd you grow
enough.
up in the city?
I mean, all over kind of near what is now like River North, affectionately.
Okay.
All over. So my mom worked for a company that owned, the company she worked for was a property management company that had all these buildings. So like,
Oh, so you got to live in them by default because of the job? Or?
well, we lived subsidized living. We lived in Section 8 housing. So like, because
okay.
my mom was a single mother, we bounced around.
Oh, okay.
So we
okay, I know
lived, in 4 different buildings as a kid,
that. Okay.
just wherever would have openings. And she worked for the company. So she would throw her hat, in the ring and be like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a single mother. Can I have one of these shitty apartments in this nice building?
Yeah,
So
give me the garden apartment.
it was actually fucking amazing. I mean, we lived in we lived in whatever came up. So we moved around a few times, but what was I saying? Oh, so, and I love taking my mom out downtown when I go home because she loves it.
Yeah.
My dad, when he left the city, was like, never again. Because I got my mom for her birthday reservations at Alinea. Do you know this restaurant? Alinea?
Yes. Yeah.
And I bought 4 tickets, right?
Like fog infused Brussels sprouts. and
Oh,
everything.
dude, it was fucking phenomenal. 4 tickets. Mom, dad, me, my lady.
The fact that they're called tickets for a restaurant says something.
Yeah, it is. I paid for 4 dinners, but I paid
I got
for
front row
I
tickets
paid
for
4.
lunch.
Yeah, I paid for 4, and I'll never forget. My dad. It was my mom's fucking birthday, and I go, "We're going to go downtown tomorrow night. I have this very special event planned. It's way too expensive for me, but it was a big deal. I want you to go, okay?" And he literally goes, "Where?" I said, "It's in the city." And he's like, "Nah, you can count me out." And I was like, "It's Mom's birthday." He's like, "Well, we're doing a birthday thing here on Sunday at the house." I was like, "I know, Dad, but this is like a huge..." And he fucked off Alinea because it was in the city. He's like, "I'm not going back down to that shithole." When he left, he wanted out forever.
I mean, the news in Chicago doesn't make it
Well,
seem
this
good.
was also
my mom is the
15
same
years
thing.
ago.
Well,
But
my mom just looks at the news like it's bad down there. But then like if a comedian, like they've gone to see like comedians that I'm friends with, just like, yeah, we took the train down there and then we went down to, I forget the name of the place, but it's like south of Columbia, like
yeah.
You're what? You're
Yeah.
just okay. So you're doing this.
Yeah,
this is wild.
Your mom's
Okay.
like, "We're in Humboldt Park. We're gonna go see
Yeah,
a couple of shows."
there's like a parade or 7 happening right now. Actually, I accidentally got stuck in a parade in Humboldt Park once. One of my dad's like midlife crisis adjacent vehicles was like the Chevy S10, but with like flare sided back with
Hell
like
yeah.
velours, like
Hell yeah.
white with rims with velours on the.
Oh, your
thing.
dad's the fucking man.
And it was a 5-speed with the shell on the back, and like I was borrowing his car and I was going to the city for something and I got lost. I somehow got detoured and it was before I wasn't using Google Maps or anything. I'm like, well, you either take 290 in or you could take Lake Street or North Avenue all the way in. And I forget, I was going down. All of a sudden I got detoured. All of a sudden it was just, for those that don't know, Humboldt Park is the Puerto Rican neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
And
I don't know if it still is, I think. I don't know. It
oh,
was.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is now, but it's like kind of like it's the kind of neighborhood that you don't really get a permit to have a parade. You just have the parade.
You have one. You're
And
allowed to, they're allowed to shut down streets by just saying it's closed.
Just yeah, like nah.
You got to go around.
And so I'm just on the street, and all of a sudden, like a flatbed truck in front of me with a band on it, like pulls in, and I'm in the middle, but I got this white S10 with rims on it, and all of a sudden there's a band playing, and everybody's waving. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna wave too. I'm like, yeah, I'll be part of this parade. That's fine. Let's go. Everybody's having a hell of a Saturday afternoon.
Why not?
And it was like just a 3 or 4 block long, like vote for so and so for alderman or something.
Oh, the
But I was
alderman.
in there. I was supporting somebody.
Yeah.
I was waving in support of somebody for Humboldt Park.
The aldermans, people don't know about that. That's a particularly evil Chicago
neighborhood
gang.
mayor.
Yeah. A neighborhood local mayor who is basically just a good politicker of he or she is doing a wonderful job of being a legal mafia boss. That's really what it really is. You're able to convince people that they
Yeah.
need to put you in position of power to protect whatever's going on, but also it's all shady bullshit. It's all
There's a lot of back scratching.
yeah. It's
without even being like firsthand any of it. It's like there's a lot of back.
it's bullshit. It's
Did I
fucking
just read
bullshit.
something like Meigs Field got plowed over in the middle of the night
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it was a daily was like
Yeah.
I don't want it to be an airport. Like, but we think it's a good airport. And then in the middle of the night, he just said bulldozer.
Yeah, bulldoze it. Yeah.
Sure. Like,
The dailies. Chicago. We lived through it all. Tell me, you said about your old
Wait.
man. I'm curious because you said this about his midlife crisis. Have you done something midlife crisis-y? Where you're like, fuck,
dude,
man.
that's what I don't understand. If I'm 46,
You're
I've
at
already-
midlife crisis now.
I've been doing it's never been a crisis. I've just been doing the thing. It's not a rubber band snap of like, oh shit, I've been working this job and feeling unfulfilled for decades now. I've only been doing that. So there's no midlife crisis.
Because you've been feeling fulfilled.
It's not like I'm 45, like, you know what, I think I need to express myself. And if anything, my midlife crisis is going the other way.
That's how I feel.
And like,
I'm getting more.
what if I just worked at the grocery store for a while?
Dude, I've had these moments. She thinks I'm crazy because multiple times I'll go, what if when we move to blank, I go, what if I get a regular job? And she goes, shut up. And I go, I'm serious. What
Yeah.
if we're far enough away from the machine, people don't care about me, don't know. What if I get a regular fun job just to have a fun gig and a thing?
It's like every story about somebody going to witness relocation, but you're like, it kind of looks nice.
It kind of does.
Like, can I turn on somebody? Can I rat somebody out just to get me set
Just
up
get me there.
somewhere?
But you know what's funny? Me talking about that, she said something really interesting. She's like, the way you speak about working a quote unquote regular job, because she works,
Yeah.
she works.
Yeah.
And she's like, the way you talk about that is the way that people feel when rich, snobby college kids go into a Goodwill for costumes. That's how they feel.
Oh, it's the song Common People by
yeah.
Pulp,
It's like, fuck.
covered by William Shatner.
It's
by
like
the way.
going, this is just an experiment.
Yeah, but it's a tourist, but I don't think you're a tourist if like you understand the value of it.
That's why I want to do something like that. You know
Well,
what I want to really do?
I'm not like, oh God, I wish, like, I don't want to be a tourist, but I think that if it came to the point where like, all right, I have my money saved from
Yeah.
this version of my life and I can live off of it. And then if time came where it's like, all right, you know what? It's getting a little thin.
Yeah.
All right.
It's basically retirement. It's like it's full
let me,
retirement.
Let me move into a Walmart greeter, but that knows he can go, hey, you know what? Go fuck yourself every 6th or 7th customer just to keep it spicy.
You're the guy that could be the Costco card guy, you know, that checks people's
Yeah,
cards
yeah.
and talks a little shit because they always got like a joke or a thing.
They should.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is you. All right.
Yeah. Doesn't look like you. Maybe 20 years ago. All right, guys, have fun.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there.
what are you doing?
Yeah,
How old are you? Like, why does that matter?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just
Come
fucking
on,
kidding.
salmon's on sale. Have fun inside
Yeah,
of
yeah.
there. That's something I would want to do something with people, and I'm obsessed with I've gotten recently obsessed with lake life. Lake life. I love lake life.
It's all coming together now.
I
It's
know.
in Midwest.
So
You're
I
at
badly,
whatever the name
I
of the lake.
very badly want to work. I want to work on a dock on a lake. Really bad. Really bad.
I have one of like a great aunt cousin a guy, but he's the pro shop guy at the golf course.
Ah, that guy.
And he's just
that's fun.
he's just a smart ass old dude that's fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably maybe pushing 80, but for every time I see him at a thing, he's the fun dude. Like, oh, good, he's here.
Yeah. He'll
And,
rattle off.
and you know at the clubhouse, he's the fun dude.
Yeah, because he rattles off bullshit. You know,
Yeah.
he'll go, "That's what you're wearing outside? You don't have a mirror at the house?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
guys, have a good day."
I used to work with a dude named Lenny. When I worked at a gas station, he would pump gas 4 to 6 for tips. And he was just a tiny little Italian guy that was...
This is here in Chicago.
It was in Wooddale.
Wooddale,
He was
okay.
benignly racist. He would always... Like, okay, yeah, I have to explain that statement. I can't just leave that one alone.
Yeah, but in my mind, I hear what it is a little bit. Like, I already
you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
He's saying stuff that you shouldn't say,
Yeah.
but it's also from a place of like, it's a little Italian guy.
He doesn't mean it.
No,
No.
anytime any Latino or
Yeah.
Hispanic individual
Yeah.
came in, regardless of outfit, he'd go, "Huh, mucho trabajo, poquito dinero, huh?" Out there cutting that grass all day. And it's just a guy just dressed business casual.
Yeah.
And he'll look at me and I'm just like,
Buddy.
what are you gonna swing on him?
I can't control Lenny, man.
It's Lenny. You've
Yeah.
been here before.
Yeah.
Any black guys, look at this guy. Get him in the ring. Put him against Joe Frazier, this guy. I'm like,
God, Lenny.
oh, Lenny.
You put me in a bad position,
And
Lenny.
yeah, and all the Latinos be like, get that Gatorade. It's hot out there today. I'm like, they're not. And then he would just break into like lyrics from musicals. He's like
What? You love musicals?
Remember when men were still about musicals because they were from the Korean War
Right.
and that's still what entertainment was?
Right.
Like the South Pacific was still, it wasn't,
Miss Saigon.
yeah, it wasn't feminine to enjoy a musical.
Correct, yes.
And he would sit there, all like 5'2" of them, like, tote that barge, lift that bale, you get a little drunk, and you land in jail. I was supposed to be in showbiz, Kyle, but this bum knee. Ah. And then he would just tell me sex stories. Just a little, yeah.
Then he would start telling about...
Anything that was wrong with you, if you got good head, it would fix it.
That's what it
Oh,
is?
Look at that zit on your head, Kyle. That's a big one. You get some good head, clear your skin right up, Kyle. Oh, I dated a black woman once. Oh, I bent her over, I'd blow in her asshole. She'd go, "Whoo, Lenny?" I'm like, none of this has been solicited. None of this.
This guy's a magic
and
man.
These stories are vouched for by any of my friends because they would come in.
See him.
Forget about me. They're like, is Lenny working? I'm like, yeah, Lenny's in.
Where's
And
this man now, you think?
I
In your
think-
heart,
I-
where's this man?
In my heart,
Yeah.
Honestly-
Still doing it?
honestly, sitting next to St. Peter busting balls trying to get into heaven.
Yeah, good.
I think the man has probably left this earth 20 years ago and he was in his 70s then.
Yeah.
And then his wife started working there and she didn't know what to do.
She wasn't as
He
good.
would fold on all his dirty talk whenever she was around. I'd be like, "Oh, Ma, what do you need, Ma? Oh, can I get you some leftovers from home?" They both walked over there from where they lived to do the job.
That is very fucking sweet.
I don't know how I got on this
I like it a lot.
tirade of like a
Can I tell you something?
Okay,
If you
yeah.
should make, if you ever have the inclination to make a TV show about, you should play Lenny, because you being Lenny would be very fucking funny.
I did one show where like shot like a little short pilot where, because I worked at pizza places a lot. I thought it was funny that there's always the different incarnations of who you meet. There's a teenager who's a shithead, thinks he knows everything.
Mhm.
There's a guy that runs the pizza place. Was my buddy Robbie D, Pizza Kitchen in Wooddale. Shout out
Pizza
right there.
Kitchen.
He's still, and he was the guy running it, but still wanted to be party with all the drivers.
course.
But he also had to run a business. And then there's always one driver. We had one guy that like got fired because he was like cooking the books for a T-Mobile store or something. There was something like, yeah, he's an accountant, but like a what's the dethroned accountant, whatever
Mhm.
it was. And so yeah, he's just an alcoholic that got busted for cooking the books at some strip mall store. Now he's delivering pizzas, and he's the guy that's got the wisdom that's going to tell you how the world really is.
Mhm.
And I wanted to like play all three versions of
Oh,
those
that's brilliant.
guys.
Have you
Yeah.
have you done this? You've done this?
Oh no, that was like 12 years ago. shot my shot in this town.
Nah, you're back.
I'm just
baby.
doing comedy.
You're back.
If
But
somebody
that is
wants to come
comedy.
to be like, this is gonna get made, and we're gonna do it the way you want.
I hope somebody
okay.
hears it and goes, I kind of want to make that show.
I thought it was a good idea. I thought,
It's a great. It's a
Pa-
great.
I mean,
idea.
pizza delivery. I mean, it's been done. Everything's been done. How do you get past the? Are you still trying to pitch shows? Are you still trying to create your original stuff, or because
A little bit.
podcasting and stand up? There's no you. I think it's beautiful. There's no need for the
This
show
is it.
business hierarchy.
Yeah.
When it's like, you
No,
bought
I
some
mean,
cameras, rented a
yeah.
space, pay a producer to edit this together.
If
And
we
this
start
will
making
garner,
stuff,
this will garner more views than let me spend 2 years developing a show
You're
with the
right.
network and get notes and go back and get notes and then get it like I got stuff down to the wire after 2 years of shooting a pilot and having everybody, it's going to be great. And then because one executive leaves and a new one comes
I
in, they're
know.
like,
I've done this. I've had this exact thing.
I know.
I
and
tested for SNL and they gave me a deal. And then when they gave me a deal, we developed a show. I talked about this literally this morning with somebody, an old friend. And they gave me a deal, do a show. I did a show about Maywood Dog Track. My grandfather worked there.
my grandparents
Gambled there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both parents from Melrose Park.
Oh, okay.
And Winston Park, my grandparents, right by Maywood.
My dad's side of the family, the Italian side, the side that we don't talk about. That's the dirty side.
You got any? Ooh,
I got it.
let's-
Well, I mean, I grew up. My grandfather was a little numbers runner for the mob, and that's what he did, and that's why he's stuck in gambling till he was
It's funny
dead.
how like the joke is like any Italian name in Chicago is affiliated with the mob, but then it also is
Kind of literal, yeah. It's pretty
But then it is.
No, it is. Well, I've said before
Yeah.
on this show, like I never knew when I was a kid that my grandfather had mob friends, but
Mhm.
then I would meet guys. Like his best friend was Joe the Hat, and Joe the Hat,
Yeah.
Joe the Hat, Chicago,
Yeah,
duh.
yeah.
Joe the Hat, he always had a new car, and I just thought Joe was a rich guy who owned a couple businesses. When you're a kid,
Yeah.
I don't fucking know what these guys do.
Yeah.
But Joe was a really charismatic, good-looking, handsome guy, like dark black hair, like slick back, and
Yeah.
I just assumed he owned. I was like, yeah, Joe probably owns,
He's done well for
yeah,
himself.
yeah. No, he's a fucking mob guy. He always had Corvettes. I was like, he always drove like Vets
Yeah.
or something ostentatious. Yeah, he always had a loud, nice car. He had caddies that they would drive around town with my
Yeah.
grandfather, and then he always had really nice sports cars that he'd bring around when they were living in Irving, Irving Park and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
but anyway, I had a show about Maywood Dog Track that my grandfather worked in till he died.
Okay.
Literally at 92 years old.
Yeah.
And they loved it. It's not the track. It was called the track, and it's not the horse track. Because Arlington is nice.
Yeah.
Maywood was for fucking shitheads, and we used to go watch boxing there on Tuesday nights, like
Yeah,
amateur
wasn't it? Was it a
boxing.
cart? What do they call it? Carriage racing?
Yeah, carriage racing. Yeah, and it was just shitty and beautiful. Loved it. They gassed
Yeah.
me up. I thought I'm gonna get this show made.
Yeah.
And then that executive got fired.
Yeah.
And the next guy came in and he goes, "What if it's like a mini mall place?" Yeah.
What if it's my idea?
Yes,
Me.
that's it. Yeah. And
Because
they threw
I'm
it
so-
right out the window.
I'm so creative. That's why I'm an executive doing numbers.
And I remember saying to my agent, "Well, I guess they paid me, so there's nothing else to do." And my agent goes, "They paid you because they wanted you to go away."
That honestly
yeah.
became the most relieving thing of like, oh, you sold an idea? Please, here's the draft of it. Tell me you don't want it.
And
don't
go away.
make me jump through these
Yeah,
hoops
just go
for the
away.
next 18 months,
Yeah.
and then you tell me you don't want it.
Yeah, just tell me to fuck off.
Just give me the cash now.
So that was kind of nice. They did do that a little bit. They were
That's
kind of like,
good.
"We're not going to do anything with you." And I said, "Okay." And I
Yeah,
fucked off.
we did.
into
We did
space.
2.5 or 2 years of like shot the pilot, did everything,
And then,
my grandmother was the illegitimate child of a mob boss.
seriously,
Yeah,
Love
'Cause
this.
My sister, I remember, I'm trying to ask her, but she grew up in the Great Depression. Like, what do you remember? She's like, "Well, I remember one time, I wanted to take piano lessons, so my dad got me a grand piano, but we just left it in one of the apartments because it was too big to move."
that's wild.
So that was her memory from the Great Depression, was that her and her sister were the children of a something with the Chicago pasta factory or something like, and it's one of those like, there's a lot of dead ends with the
Your family tree?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of like,
This tree ran out of water a few
It
times.
stopped here, or nobody's trying to document who that is. But so that's what it is. My dad's memory of his grandfather. He's like, I just remember one time, like I remember sitting on his lap as a kid, and he was like playing with like diamonds.
Diamonds.
That was like what are you, Scarface? What the fuck? Like, it was really, they were that kind of mom. Like, I guess so. But that was
But they were the second family.
Yeah, she was so provided for, but never mentioned.
Wow.
But always was just, there was no memory of the Great Depression for my grandmother because she was cared for.
Because it was good.
Yeah.
It was.
There was nothing depressed
Meanwhile,
about
my grandmother was like, I remember one time
Yeah.
we got soup.
Yeah.
It was a Thursday and we got soup.
I don't know. What do you call the water you have left over after you boil a rat? Is that soup? I think that's soup. I guess it's soup.
We all got some of that
Yeah.
one time.
Something like that.
Well, my grandmother, when she passed away a couple years ago, and was my favorite, man. And she saved everything. And that was the thing my mom used to say, that when I was a kid, I never understood. And she's like, that's because the time that they came up and you don't understand. And she was trying to explain it to me. And as a kid, I never got it because I'd go to my grandma's house and it wasn't a hoarder, but she would save, God bless her, but she always had flat pop. All the pop was always flat is because she would mix them into, if she would save them from like the party and mix them all into one and then take it home.
That was a thing.
Yeah, and
That
so
thing.
I was like, man, Nana never has pop that has fuzz. And my mom was like, you lucky you get fucking pop, okay? When she was getting that, it was that whole thing. It was always like because I never understood. I was like, why does Nana save all this stuff? And we don't do that at our house.
Yeah.
And she's like, we fucking should, because you guys are spoiled fucking assholes. I see you pour out half a Coke, I should make you fucking save it.
No, it's going back in the bottle. Now do you want Coke? Well, that was it, because then my grandmother was from that life, and then my grandfather was Marine in World War II, decorated Marine. And so he stayed a Marine.
His whole
Like,
life.
as a grandkid, you loved it. I don't know what it was like for my dad growing up, but
Not
as the grandkid,
Yeah.
it was still like you just went to,
His
your
grandpa's
grandparents' house. But like, he had like a label maker that he'd put the dates, like when you bought the groceries and put them on the shelf, like canned groceries.
So he knew exactly when they were.
And they were
holy
all faced
shit.
up. They were all in order, faced up.
Oh my God.
Like what a grocery store should. My mom tells a story about like we were on vacation as a family and she saw him like folding his laundry. Like, what are you doing? We're in the middle of the trip. He's like, no, I'm packing my dirty clothes. He was folding his dirty clothes, like accordance to,
Yeah.
which makes some sense. But he was also very much like clean socks went in this side of the drawer to rotate through. So he would come out because it was also like big into golf, big into like this late 60s, early 70s loud patterns.
Yeah, bro. So it's
like
really
the classic golf clothes that people made fun of.
bold. Yeah.
But he was also still a Marine. So if polka dot pants and checkered shirt were up next in the row of what's cleanest to dirtiest,
Mm-hmm.
that's what he put on. Not as a silly thing, or not that I knew it, just like, well, this is what's next. So World War II Marine is also dressed like a clown with no makeup. And it's like, well, we don't know what to make of this, because as kids, you think he's great. I don't know what my parents' relationship is with him, but I don't know. I think he's pretty fun. And
Yeah. But I think your dad probably had a different version.
yeah, I think he made it, it's,
Like my stepdad was a military kid. And his dad died when he was young, and he was militant, and you can tell because a lot of it transferred over. With my dad was always like,
yeah.
Do your shoes go right there? Because that's the kind of stuff. It's like, well, it's fucking right. Where do they go? They go in the thing? You know where to put. We put everything was always like order. There was so much more order to the chaos. We didn't have like.
But mean, or just kind of like
No, it's just-
as an adult man now, do you,
I appreciate the fuck out of it.
If you had kids, would you be like, guys?
Now I would do the same thing he did. I'm like that now around my own house.
You realize it's not as shitty?
It's not as shitty, but it does feel there's a way to do it that's not as shitty, right? Like we would get fucking yelled at in a way where you're like, does it really matter? But you're like,
yeah,
well,
you're angry about something else entirely right now. You're not mad at me. You're mad at just how shit turned out. I mean, it's manifesting that I didn't put the
I didn't
peanut
put the
butter
shoes
back
in the
right.
thing, but
but this is a lot. This is a couple decades of you coming out right now.
Yeah. So
Are you like that in your house? Are you like as your missus?
No, my house is clean, really clean. We keep a nice house, but she's the same way. She likes organization, and it's not anal, but it's not anal, but it's like we care. I care.
But it's okay from being like a drunk slob punk rock / comedian dipshit for most of my life. Now I'm like, I kind of like it when things are a little.
Yeah, nice stuff is nice.
I have a lot of. I'm cluttered, but I don't think it's dirty.
Yeah.
But it might be cluttered.
I like going over to somebody's house that I thought would have a dirty house, but has an immaculate house, and I'm always like, this is interesting.
Oh.
Because in the outside world, you're kind of like loose and goose and blah, blah, blah. And, whatever, man.
But
fuck it. I don't know.
Again, here's the space I can control that's not part of a public
Correct.
persona. And
Yes.
I need this lack of chaos.
Right.
Because everything I'm putting out
Is-
is buffoonery. When I come home, I need everything. I need the plates where I put the
Right.
plates. I need Tupperware stacked into other Tupperware.
See? This is how I think a lot more comedians are than people think. A lot of people think comics are like these, like, oh, I bet he lives crazy, and all this shit. And then you go to a lot of comics houses and you're like, this is really well
I
put
want
together.
that. I want more of that.
Yeah.
Like I want,
More-
I want to see like chaotic individuals get interviewed. Like I want to see Danny Brown get interviewed, and his house is just so immaculately.
I bet you it
organized.
is. I actually
think so?
I bet you it is. Yeah. I think most.
I tried to pick somebody who like seems to be.
You're right though. Danny Brown is a
unhinged.
great. I saw what you saw in your head, and then I thought, I bet you it's together. You know why? I also think anybody that didn't have if you didn't come up with a lot of money or you didn't start with a lot of money in life in general, I think you tend to pride yourself when you do get a couple of bucks that you're like,
Yeah.
well, it's my shit. I paid for this house and this stuff or this apartment and all these things. It's like, I kind of want them not to be fucked up all the time. 'Cause everything-
Wastefulness is such an unattractive quality.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I do like I was wondering like why you'd see a lot more like in like rap and everything, but like why is it always this outward display of wealth? It's well because if you never had it, then you finally get it, you're like proud of it. So it's a very opulent display.
I don't know who said it, but it may be one of the best. I wish I remembered, but I'm a little bit of the sauce got me tripped up. But somebody said, "Fuck." Oh, I just heard it too, and it was so powerful. I know what it is, but I don't remember who said it. And I keep seeing. I'm trying to see, but they said, like, he was like, "Motherfuckers always asking me, why do people in our community show what we have?
Mhm.
Why do people give such a fuck about us showing off in the first place?" Is my
Yeah, yeah.
question. And then he says, and on top of that, it was never ours to begin with. And they're
Mhm.
probably going to try to take it away from us. So everyone in my community feels like, well, I might as well
Yeah.
fucking show you what I got because you're probably going to steal it. And I was like, that is a pretty deep cut. And there's layers to it that are pretty dark of like, well, you're going to take it anyway. So I might as well show you what the fuck I got.
I mean, I would counter that without knowing. I mean, I'm making assumptions with the way you phrased.
Puerto Rican blind guy. That's who said it. Puerto Rican blind guy. Marco Venezuela. Do you know him?
No, is that
No,
is
it's none
any
of
of that
No,
real?
none of it's real.
I was like, oh, Puerto Rican blind guys. Who do I,
No.
is Pitbull blind?
Yeah, no,
or
he is.
Puerto
Yeah,
Rican?
no,
I don't know
no,
if he's
no.
either one of those things, and now I look terrible.
No, he was saying none of it's theirs anyway, and they're going to take it from me, so I might as well fucking. It's like it's on lease. you know?
Yeah, well, that's. And a note from that is like that the whole that 30 for 30, that documentary series where they did one just called Broke.
Broke. I love Broke. Yeah.
And like, oh, like not like I'm ever gonna get that much money, but those I learned more from watching comedians who fucked up than I
Mhm.
ever did from watching people successful.
Ah, yeah.
People that are successful, it's hard work and it's talent, but so much of it is like, we chose you. Here you go.
Yeah.
We chose you. There's people doing the same amount of effort as all the famous people out there. There's people doing the same amount with the same talent and same hustle that just aren't getting the bump.
I would say there's people doing so much more.
Or even more.
Way more.
But so to look at who gets successful, there's that mysterious, like you lived here and somebody liked you or whatever the fuck. But it's the people that fucked it up. That I would go to Zany's downtown in Chicago.
Old Town, yeah.
Yeah, if I didn't have sets, or if like, I wasn't even using the internet. I was like reading the newspaper. There's supposed to be an open mic here. Oh, well, that's been canceled for 6 weeks, but they didn't update the listing in the Chicago Reader or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I can go to Zanies. I knew Martine would let me sit in the back, and I'd watch these old headliners. And I'd watch these headliners doing the same set for like
Years.
This set is dated if it was 10 years ago.
Right.
And you're doing it now, and you don't care about the game. You don't care about doing comedy. And you're watching this audience that's already half your age, not give a fucking care in the world of why you're on stage.
Yeah.
And now you're angry at them because they're not connecting about the construction on the Dan Ryan is out of hand material. And I just watch these guys fall out of love with the game, but not have a plan B.
Right.
So my options are like, well, I have to love this forever, or I really have to have something else that I'm hoping to do outside of stand-up. I haven't found that yet. So I just have like,
So you better
all right,
love it forever.
there's no superstardom in my future maybe, but there's sustainability, I think.
And as long as you're in love with it, what the fuck is the
I'm
difference?
I still like doing this.
And what's the difference if you're in love with it? Who gives a
That's
shit?
what I'm saying. Because I get fucked up in my own head. Like, oh, why don't I have this? Why
Nah,
don't I have
fuck
that?
that.
I already got all this.
As long as you're in love with it still. And you are. And I'll say this. A, I appreciate you coming on the show. I haven't seen you in a long, long time. B, everybody, do yourself a favor. Please watch Kyle's new special. You can watch all of your specials you've put up on YouTube. Yeah?
They're all.
No, they are though, right?
Somebody owns the rights to them.
Yeah, but you put them up on. I've seen a lot of mine.
I
there.
didn't put them up.
Well,
Whoever owns the rights to my special.
yeah, Comedy
I just
Central.
want people to see them.
Well,
if
'cause
you
you've
like
got-
them, buy a ticket to a show.
I like his
That's
old
what
stuff
helps me.
better, as I think is on YouTube. Whiskey
all-
Icarus is on
All
YouTube.
the Comedy Central stuff got bought by Comedy Dynamics, and now they're airing.
They're making all the money. Should we burn that place to the ground? Anyway, go watch his
I
new
don't know.
special
I
because that's
still-
more important to watch the new special. We'll link it below. But do you like that I named both of your specials from before? Because I remember Whiskey Icarus, and I like his old stuff better.
I
But
like
the
that.
new special
Loose
is
in
called
Chicago is the third one, but it's all right.
Loose in
It's fine. That's
Chicago.
fine.
Oh boy, fuck you, Kyle. The new special, say it. So
Shacks and Struts, baby.
please go watch it right now. We'll put the link in the description right below. We end the show the same way. You look into that camera right there.
Okay.
You say one word or one phrase. A lot of people, it used to be one word, and people are like, I don't know if I can. You can say one word or one phrase to end the episode for the rest of the time in that camera whenever you're ready. One word or one phrase to end the show.
Okay, there's a quote from my pal Lenny Vituli.
Okay.
My first wife, she fucked the flu right out of me.
In here, we pour whiskey, 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 whiskey.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.